other suitcase and check that in, and then when they can return, they have just one suitcase of swag and the other with what they actually came there with. It's ridiculous.
And of course, the bigger suitcase is the swag suitcase.
Of course, yeah, it is. It is. It really is. But we can talk about free stuff at conventions later when we talk once again about these cool little orange stress balls in the water bottles. But for now, though, we're going into game number 1. SK versus Bacon Lovers are crazy cool, a.k.a. Black.
Team Black. Black is my
Black is back, baby.
heart in the depths of my soul.
SK banning out the Lee Sin first Alistar, not want to be dealt with there for Team Black. And, Lee Sin, he is a pretty aggressive dude, but a lot of times, though, because of this recent patch, when I see a Lee Sin banned out, immediately that tells me I think they're going for something stealth.
Yeah, I mean, I really doubt that will be the case for a long time, but it is a funny thought.
The patch is still relatively new. It is a possibility.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Could see some Eve, could see some Twitch. That'd be nice. I'd like to see it.
It would be entertaining.
It'd be very entertaining.
I'm not sure that it'll happen, but banning out Karthus as well. So, Ocelot was like, get rid of it. I don't want to have to play it so they don't get it. So they, we'll be able to ban that out. Just some standard bans. I think Lee Sin's probably more of a targeted ban. So I don't know, who on their team, would play Lee Sin if it's face roller or not.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see we'll see what's going on here. But you do have the Nocturne ban actually coming in as well.
I guess face roller's the AP.
So Nap
maybe Alvic or Niprian.
Could be either or.
I know I'm butchering that.
I still remember seeing Malunu actually in town. Maluno.
It's an O at the end.
Maluno.
Yes.
I still get it wrong. God.
He said that he started off, and the reason I was like, why are there 2 O's at the end if you want it to be pronounced Maluno? And he's like, well, it's my name, and I used to have 1 O, but then I had to recreate the account or something. So he made another account with 2 N's or 2 O's.
Oh, so confusing. Even like sometimes it pains you. Like maybe sometimes I don't want to go and cast some of the Korean teams because they just change their names whenever the hell. This is like
and square going in. He gets the quadra kill.
No, like sometimes guys will enter GSL qualifiers and stuff. They have a different name every single time they go and try and qualify. It makes stat tracking just crazy hard and annoying. But yeah, stick with the name. you got the Nunu pick first there for SK. More than likely going to be the support Nunu going down bot lane. So we'll see who he's paired with. But looks like Sona and more like there you go, Sona and Shyvana being grabbed up real quick for Black. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, some really strong champions. We'll see whether or not they're going with the jungle. I assume it would be the support for the Nunu. A big issue would be if they were going to run the Nunu jungle against Shyvana now. One of Nunu's biggest things is counter jungling. You're not really going to get a good counter jungle on Shyvana. Shyvana can just control the jungle very easily. But the big thing is Nunu is very safe in that bottom lane. They will have to watch out for the fact that Sona has some nice burst and has the heal over them as well. But generally speaking, Nunu will be safe. Hey, I would be fine with seeing a promote Nunu like Hotshot in clg.na in the OGN. That would be fine with me if we see that. It is an interesting concept because Nunu, you don't really need a lot of summoners. Yeah, you can use the exhaust. Flash, it's kind of iffy. You can have it, but against some teams, you don't need it. So we'll see Corki going down, and Janet, it's going to be a jungle Nunu. So
Ooh.
Nunu against Shyvana. Nunu, can steal a big Wraith here or there or something like that. Has good dragon control, but generally speaking, Shyvana has the upper hand there. And as the game progresses, Nunu can ult to try and control the fights for them along with Janna. But with both Sona and Shyvana, they can clear out that ult pretty easily.
Yep, so we'll see we'll see who the AD is to be paired up with Sona here. Saw Ezreal previous game. Worked out pretty good. Worked out. All things considered, worked out really well actually.
Yeah, and Ezreal Sona is a very common matchup in that bottom lane, so it would be very strong if they wanted to go for that.
I got excited for the Varus for a second, but considering Rumble may very well be going in the top lane. GP, Huh? This is okay. Now this could be a little bit of a strange workaround here because Rumble does go mid on occasion, but he's got it's been established, working to see established first who's going mid, and I think now we're just being trolled here. Karma, nah, come on.
Yeah, so we'll see. I do think it's interesting that Rumble's getting nerfed soon.
Wow.
Wow. All right.
Oh, it is Karma mid.
Yeah. So Karma mid is interesting. When she first came out, a couple of people tried her mid, and she can farm very easily in the mid. She has great pushing power. You can push people into the tower. We'll get back to that in a second. But the Riven pick, so Kevin going to go top against Rumble with that Riven. That's definitely a nice pickup. And the big thing with Rumble, he can win most lanes. He's very strong.
I think, is it Karma
equals Ezreal.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So Karma is the new Evelyn for the proxy.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it would be unusual. Karma, it's just there's a couple of champions that are very similar to Karma in their play style, but slightly better.
Yep.
So if you were, as far as an AP support in the mid lane, you would look at champions like Lulu and Orianna before you would look at Karma. But yeah, we'll see. So Karma is the new proxy. We were talking about that. Let him go crazy. All right. Well,
we're gonna have to return to the lobby eventually, but yeah. So looking for the last two picks here. Victor was being considered, but we'll actually beat the Cassiopeia going mid. Riven top here for SK.
Yeah. So again, the Rumble is a very strong pick and does well against most laners. At some point in time, he's going to have enough damage. He's kind of weak in the early levels though, and he's squishy throughout the game. So Rumble, I think. People just naturally think he's a little bit tankier than he is, but he's actually really squishy. So as a result, bruisers tend to do well against Rumble. Rumble wins the damage exchange with just the constant flame spitter harass. However, Riven with the gap closing ability, you want people who can close the gap on Rumble really quickly and then just kill him. And Riven has that damage potential in the top lane. It's a really nice matchup. So we'll see how that works. It is a pretty even matchup. But then going with the Cassiopeia, so to an extent, it could be denying that Cassiopeia from Black. However, Ocelot, very well known for enjoying Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is a really strong champion in the mid lane, can control the lane very easily, win team fights, just all around, take control of everything.
The fight control is going to be massive for SK because you have Rumble. You have Sonya, you have Shyvana, you have a lot of champs getting very up close, up front in your face.
Oh, wow.
So, Soraka.
I want him to message me back and be like, Soraka's a placeholder too.
I don't know. I don't know about this.
Yeah.
So Soraka.
It's unusual. See, now I'm kind of surprised because Soraka is Nocturne. No, that's a joke. That's not. They already have a jungler.
Nocturne was banned.
Oh, Nocturne right. Yeah. So we'll see if that was actually a Soraka pick.
I think it is.
Soraka, there have been AP Sorakas in the past a lot of times, and Soraka does fairly well against Cassiopeia.
Soraka is Soraka. That's all she can ever be.
A is A and B is B, and A cannot be B.
Nope.
But Soraka, she can be very strong in that mid lane, and she does well against Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia has greater pushing power, so Cassiopeia is going to throw Soraka underneath the turret. The armor isn't going to be that much of an issue. Cassiopeia isn't as much of a burst champion as she is a sustained damage dealer, and as a result, she's just going to be able to constantly harass down Soraka. And even through the heal, Soraka has the burst heal to not die instantly, but then Cassiopeia can follow it up with a lot of extra damage. So we'll see how it'll work. It's just Soraka doesn't really fit with their team comp. It's a very unusual pick with the comp that they're running.
I think, well, here's the thing, like AP Soraka, that is a massive heal. And I think, what they're just trying, at the very least, to do is just try and counteract the push as much as they can. And here's the thing, though. The silence can actually work very well against a lot of members of SK. The silence and cast shuts her down a lot, shuts down Riven's pretty much entire kit. Corki, he's immensely less spammable if silenced. So, and not to mention, you can cancel the new ult in a pinch, too. So I think it's something that could be really help out the team fights.
But here's the issue. Soraka, she has to get kind of short range. She has to get up close and personal in order to have any sort of impact. Late game, Soraka can be fantastic. I mean, having those heals along with the MR reduction, making your team naturally tanky, but they don't have a tanky team. They have an AP team. Yes, Soraka will help Shyvana. Yeah. However, the AoE damage from SK is so strong that it won't even matter if Soraka gets off her heals because Corki and Cassiopeia have enough follow-up damage. And then if Soraka is trying to become more involved in teamfights, both Soraka and Rumble have to put themselves in a dangerous position, and they're just not tanky enough to do it. So, I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to work around that, because if it was like a head-on-head fight, SK is easily at the advantage here because Soraka and Rumble will both go down very quickly to SK's AoE, and they can't sit back safely like you would hope for them. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Double support. They have nice burst heals. They have mobility with Sona. So I think a lot of it's going to come down to just the map control from Shyvana and forcing small fights. Ezreal does well in small fights. Rumble can do well in small fights. If they can force those small fights where SK doesn't have enough damage to kill them, then maybe they can make this team happen.
But you do all these. I mean, all the rest of the champs. The entire team of Black, they are somewhat short range, so they are making the commitment. But also remember, there's a huge amount of AP damage available here onto Black, and one of the best things you can do, in addition to so much magic damage, is to shred.
Sona is actually going mid, unless they change it up. We'll see if they're baiting this out or not.
But things all that the magic resist shred from Soraka on the Star Call would synergize immensely well with Rumble.
I'm kind of curious. I'm wondering if this is something that I'm going to assume it's something that Face Roller is well known for, and it is a fairly new team, but they have been very successful. So I'm curious. Fat Mama is the support. Yep. We'll see whether or not Fat Mama is going to be going Soraka or Sona. They can swap it up at the last second. So Soraka is much more common as an AP pick. Mm-hmm. Sona has, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I haven't seen Sona played as an AP champ. I've seen Sona played AD. I've seen Sona played as a mid champ, but not usually to get burst ability power damage. So we'll have to see. I mean, Sona's range isn't that great either. So Sona will have to put herself in a vulnerable situation.
So, and then that is not the Jace. We are not doing promote Surge Jace. Get to the real deal here. So yeah, it is a little strange. It is a little strange, but then again, that is one of the advantages of being one of these up and coming teams, that you don't quite get a read. You can go ahead and do. You can go outside a little bit beyond the bonds of normal standard play here and try and see if you can't get away with things, or this could be something that they've been working in the lab for, something they've been practicing, something realizing that, hey, this really does very well against X, Y, or Z comp setups, things like that. So we'll see how it works.
That's the coolest thing, since we're coming into the Season 2 championships and everything.
Yeah. Teams are starting to experiment more. They're starting to be more free, willing to just be really aggressive with that stuff. Quick reminder, we're being thrown outside the door. RP, if you're interested in some RP, we actually have a giveaway right now.
Yeah, Facebook.com/IGN Pro League. There's a nice little button there that says offers. So while we're loading up onto the game, you just go ahead and click on that. And you'll be more than what you just
so offers button, and we are giving away a $10 RP currently.
Yep.
I don't know how many we're giving away, but 3 actually. So
we
3. And we'll, talk about that again a little bit later. But guys, definitely check that out. Will be fun. But we'll see. There's 20 seconds left, so this is like the countdown to see, how they're going to change their summoners, if they're actually legitimately going to run.
I'm not so
promote.
Sure.
If Face Roller,
Ghost heal.
If Face Roller is going Sona or Soraka. That's definitely a huge question. I would have to imagine it's the Soraka, but it seems like he's going Sona. So. That's going to be really... No, switching up last second.
Yeah.
There you go. I was going to say, I was going to be very surprised to see a Sona mid, because Sona can have some nice little burst damage, but generally speaking, she doesn't have enough sustained damage to have that AP be valuable, and just Sona doesn't really need any items to really accomplish much. But she doesn't have the burst heal. Even with if you had 1,000 AP on Sona and 1,000 AP on Soraka, Sona would have 1/4 of the heal that Soraka would have, and everyone, I'm sure you guys recognize that. But we'll see. So Ezreal and Sona is a very common bottom lane. That's another aspect to it. It is that common harassed bottom lane.
Now I want to go back to a little discussion we were having before. About the fact, that Black is not the tankiest team in the world. They could very well melt to a lot of AoE pressure. But if you look at the summoners right there onto the Soraka, though, Ghost and Heal. So Soraka wants to be near the front line with the Ghost to catch up, to throw down the Star Calls. But you have the innate heal, you have the global team heal, and you have the summoner heal. So everyone's just kind of like, okay, everyone crowd around the Soraka. We're going deep. By the way, the enemy team, all of their magic resist is gone, so go on ahead.
Yeah, and so Soraka, the big issue is because she has to get so up close. So running the movement speed masteries as well, and that's definitely nice. We'll see how that's going to kind of work out for them. I think a lot of it is going to ride on how successful they can be in their lanes, and they need to pull off early advantages. Rumble versus Riven top, again, it's an even lane. Both of them have that kill potential, so it could go either way. Ezreal versus Sona bottom, it's a very aggressive harass lane. They should be at an advantage over Corki and Janna. However, Corki is generally pretty safe to farm in most lanes. But we'll see. Sona and Ezreal, they can pop Janna's shield very quickly, and then they'll win those damage exchanges. So that's an opportunity for them. Shyvana has an advantage over Nunu in the jungle. Late game, Irenae, he will be very strong. He's going to have that blood boil for Corki or Riven. That'll be really nice for either of them. The slow, will be nice as well. So we'll have to see. But I am kind of concerned about that Soraka. I'm excited to see it. I'm tingling with anticipation. It's just there's a lot of other common AP champions that would work very well with their team and give them just an all-around awesome AoE team with lots of versatility. Like if they were to run a Morgana, or if they wanted, Orianna would work with the Shyvana combination. There's just a lot of options, and Soraka wouldn't be on the tip of my tongue as that first choice. But Soraka, like we said, does have that armor, magic resist shredding, does have the magic resist buff for her team,
Yep.
and then also those innate heals. Will be pretty nice. Those burst heals.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember, Soraka mid. When was the last time we saw that like heavily in competitive
Dignitas
play?
was
It
really the
yeah.
last time we saw it at IPL 4. And they stopped using it right after that tournament.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a while. Probably a smattering of play here and there. I'm sure if we look back that Black has been using Soraka, and that's just something that we haven't, seen because we haven't been able to see their matches because they're so new. But, we'll have to see. I'm sure everyone's talking about in chat and like, oh, you're terrible. Soraka has played every game. I see Soraka in 90% of my games as AP mid. They're never played as support.
That's a strange world to be living in. Soraka, I mean, there was. I think there actually was a time like right after IPL 4 too, where I was seeing a lot of Sorakas just go mid in solo queue, and that is kind of like that pro effect where you see someone on some team be really successful. With a very this is a niche team. They would not, Black would not be going Soraka mid in a case like this unless it's something they've been practicing frequently. This is not a willy-nilly, hey, let's see if it works here. It's something that's been, calculated before and gamed and studied and, put on the paper on the chalkboard first before they actually go ahead and try and
Don't
bring
be
it
putting
out
words in their mouth. They might be just going willy-nilly here.
They could be.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It's going to be fun. I mean, Soraka late game, Soraka can be almost unstoppable. If you don't have enough damage, if you have a tanky team, that's usually where you see Soraka, and you just become unkillable when you have all of that AP, and then they slowly wear you down. Here's the combination with Soraka and Rumble can be nice. Shyvana also is heavy magic damage, and I think a lot of people don't realize how much of Shyvana's kit is magic damage. You kind of think of her as a physical bruiser, but she is a very high magic damage champion. Ezreal, not so much. He has some, but Soraka, that shredding will be nice. Late game, if they can survive through the burst AoE from SK, then they can easily win team fights with that Soraka pick. And Soraka late game is just such a monster. The issue is that Soraka brings very little fight control early in the game.
Right.
Early and even mid game, Soraka is just incredibly weak. You just need to sit there and farm. You can't counter push very easily because of the short range nature of it. You can if you're safe, but if they're trying to push into your tower or something, Soraka can't clear the minion waves. You have to just let them walk up and take your tower basically. In team fights early on, you're just too squishy, so you'll go down really quickly. So we'll see, how their play is going to accommodate that.
So loading on up, we should be in here just pretty soon. Of course, it's man, come on, just 4%, you can do it.
96.
Come on, you can
96.
Go. There you go. All right. So now we are here. We are in game number 1. SK versus Black, aka Bacon Lovers Are Crazy Cool. So we've been hyping up right before this game too. This is kind of the old school versus the new school, despite the fact that the old school team has had a little bit of a roster switch pretty recently as well. But we'll see how they work out here against the new kids on the block. Looking for a little bit of a look. So I think right now SK they're debating on where they're going to be going to invade either even going for the red or for the blue, but they may just try and get their defense here and make sure that they are not being invaded as well. You do have Alvic up top there in the top Tri Brush, making sure that no one takes the long way in. And I think there's a little bit of a split decision here from SK. They're not quite sure where they're looking to. I think they want to invade if they can, because Nunu, real quick, with the consume, a steal on the Wraiths can be huge. But alas, Shyvana and Soraka are there to defend. Sona may be caught out here right on the entrance. Does walk on into the bush. The Ignite going down. Can he flash over the wall? Yes. But will he be safe? No. The flash over for the pursuit. And Arene there with the snowball getting that first blood.
Yeah, really just kind of a casual step there from Sona, walking right into the bush, just like, oh, we don't see him anywhere. They're probably not invading or anything. But nice job from SK coming over there at the last second, and then Fat Mama going down. So that's really a shame for them to start off in such a way, because they do need to get a little bit into the game in order for Soraka to be viable for their team. But we'll have to see. Nunu, starting off, already gets the Regrowth Pendants. That's going to help his jungle. And then the fast Philosopher's Stone is going to be huge. We'll see. I mean, Shyvana with the Soraka combo could be unkillable almost through the mid-game. And all the armor and magic resist that Shyvana gets from her ultimate and just how naturally tanky she can be, that could be kind of interesting to see.
Star Call being purchased there for the Soraka, not too uncommon there for the mid. Maybe looking to max that thing out, but you also see that here right now, Nunu in the jungle is looking to start on the red. Going to be going on to the blue later on. We'll see if Napren does decide to go for a quick invade on his own, but it looks like a small golems skipping. No, a little bit indecisive there. Will actually start there. Yes.
Yeah, probably just waiting for the cooldowns on abilities. So he's going to be fine. In the meantime, I'm curious how this Soraka versus Cass lane is going to work, because Cass should have a serious advantage in that lane. It's much easier for Cass to hit the damage than Soraka. Yes, if Soraka gets in range, then it's an instant hit. But having to get that close, Riven actually dueling it out with Rumble, though. Rumble gets very low, but Shyvana is here for the backup. The exhaust onto Kevin. He's trying to get out of it. He has the dodge. He has the flash, but now Alvic chasing him down. If he can hit the E, he misses both of them, and they will have to back off. So Alvic is low. Kevin actually has a slight advantage there, but Shyvana still helping him out a little bit in the top lane.
You see all the aggression going down on Rumble because he is pretty weak. That magic number is level 4. He can actually start to fight back there in that lane. But if a gank is going to be going down, if a kill is going to be going down, it needs to happen quick. And you see right now, Alvic going on back, buying a ward just for safety. Arene in the jungle, Naprin just trying to finish off the Wraiths. But there you go, the snowball going down, looking to exchange some blows. But he's got the red buff. Both junglers have the red buff. Going back in, too, onto the bush. But there you go. There's the summoner heal being popped for Soraka. Ocelot getting extremely low. And that is the power of a mid Soraka. It can things can get a little bit ridiculous. Plus a summoner heal on top of it.
Yeah, no, so already having the advantage in that lane, and that is one nice thing. If you can trade damage easily, then having that sustain, you can beat your opponent in the lane. Usually you don't put that many levels into the heal when you're playing an AP Soraka, so we'll see how he kind of works with that. But it is interesting to see that he's able to come out on top of that damage exchange with Cassiopeia. Shyvana's going to be fine. Shyvana's going to back up. I still think it's kind of interesting that Rumble and Shyvana, they were trying to put on the pressure at level 1 on Riven, because Riven also needs a couple of levels. Riven's solid at level 1, but really level 3 and then level 4 is where you try to really pick up kills as Riven, and Riven's a snowball champion. You want to get those early kills. But because Rumble is so weak early on, you usually don't expect a gank to come, but they just kind of go for it anyway. They're like, all right, you're not going to be expecting it. We're just going to go for it. The silence definitely works nicely against Cassiopeia to just interrupt that combo and get in some of that free damage.
To bot lane though, Yellowstar is getting chunked out quite a bit, and you'll see every time right now that the Black is pushing on up to the tower, Deke is right there with all that auto attack harass, while Yellowstar is still under tower, dipping on in and out. The control is amazing. Next time this wave comes up, you're probably going to see more of it here.
Yeah, and so Face Roller actually starting to push Ocelot underneath this turret, so that he's going to be denied a little bit. Nunu actually coming down this bottom lane, and Fat Mama taking some damage. SK Nif is pretty low, but there's actually the first kill for Yellowstar, and then the chase from Arianai onto Ezreal. He will have to back off there, but they have complete control over this bottom lane already.
Yeah, didn't even really need Nunu's help to go ahead and get the kill onto this Sona, unfortunately. But still, though, it does give a little bit of room to breathe for SK. They can go ahead, stick around, get a get a little bit of farm up there because they've been not denied just a little bit, but now they have the lane a little bit to themselves. Ezreal can only do so much without the support in tow, so it's going to give Yellowstar some time to go ahead and catch up. Naprin up here, top lane, only with the blue buff, looking to see if anything still can happen down onto Kevin. You do have Alvic, level 4, going to be a little bit stronger. Kevin with the ward in the bush. So Shyvana has been caught out, but will escape just fine.
Yeah, he just wanted to make sure that Shyvana wasn't there because he had the ward in the tri-bush. He recognized that Shyvana was there, and I think because he backed off, Black probably recognized that Kevin knew that Shyvana was there. So as a result, there was a good possibility that Shyvana could just sit there in that bush and wait and either just teleport out and waste Kevin's time or, force him in a bad situation. So he backs off. In the meantime, Nunu is bought once again.
Fat Mama could very well be caught out once again. Exhaust going down to Ezreal to make sure he can't pursue to get those kills. Nif has been ignited. One more auto attack, something, anything. Shield still going up. There you go. But Ocelot is now here to try and help out. But Shyvana is there to look to defend. Ezreal, will you be going down? Yes, you will. Yellowstar grabbing that kill. Fat Mama, just with a little bit of help, has the auras up to make sure that Shyvana can keep a quick escape. But SK's in a good spot. Ult over the wall. Very well done. Naprin going down, blue buff going to the Nunu. Nice refreshment. Here comes Face Roller. Star call, star call, star call. Get that chant going.
The banana!
Yo, banana!
He actually might
be able to get it there, but Nunu doesn't get the snowball. The silence there is still a fair amount of damage. And you got 3 members of SK running away from a Soraka down bot lane in pursuit, but will manage to back off. Alvic there looking to keep Kevin away just a little bit. But still, the pressure from top lane is pretty huge.
Yeah, and it is an even matchup, but Riven does have a slight advantage in this lane right now. Bottom lane, really nice job from SK so far, being able to pressure that lane. And we'll see, how involved Soraka can be. Soraka's usually not the best duelist early in the game. But still, if he's able to run around and know that he's safe in the middle of those fights, that's definitely going to be huge. I love the anticipation play from Ocelot, though. Just recognizing, all right, this is about where they are over this wall. I ult now, and
nice.
Just going for it. Shyvana trying to come up and take the blue, doesn't recognize that Nunu actually started down at the red, so has the vision cleared now, knows that it won't be up until about 9 minutes.
But there is a ward there in the neighborhood. Ocelot does ward that far brush, but does not know Face Roller is there. Is going to go ahead and move on forward, and that is a very tricky bush to ward because you can actually, usually when you ward a bush, you have vision of the entire bush. That one curved one is not the case. You do have to ward it twice if you want the full vision. Meanwhile, bot lane, Fat Mama once again being caught out in the bushes, cannot get away from all that pressure. Meanwhile, top lane, though, you do have the Rumble ult looking to get aggressive. Exhaust going down onto Nunu. Rumble, he's in pursuit with that Flame Spitter. There's a lot of damage, and Nunu does go down. But there you go, Soraka, Star Call, Silence, keep Kevin away. There you go, good play from Black.
Yeah, really impressive play from Face Roller there, just constantly roaming around the map, forcing those fights for his team. And in those small exchanges, that's something that Soraka is, going to be strong at because they just won't be able to die in those small exchanges. The mid-game team fights, Soraka will be weak, but it's astounding to me that Face Roller is able to, pressure these really early game fights for them to try and pull them back. So we'll see, if that'll continue to work for him. Shyvana wasn't 6 yet. Now Shyvana is. Shyvana's one of the best tower divers in the game, but they're able to force the fight outside of the tower because Nunu walking into the bush, and that's really where they want to, fight. Just the tower would just be too devastating for him right now. But we'll have to see. Ocelot is able to pick up that blue, and he can go to the mid lane.
Yeah, the pressure from Soraka is, both real, a very real threat, and also hilarious when you do see a team running away from a Soraka. And as the game goes on, especially with Soraka on Ghost, that is going to continue to happen. But we'll also see how the farm game continues to go from here because there is a little bit of a lead on Ocelot, and not to mention, 3 assists to Soraka's 2, which, usually you'll see Soraka, with a lot of heals. You have the global heal actually start to rack up assists pretty early. But, in mid, it's not usually the case. And you also have the Fat Mama once again getting caught out every time going in for those auras. You're losing half your healthy Corki. There's the Sona ult in response, but it's not enough to save the Ezreal. Yellowstar still in pursuit. The missiles not going to be picking up on that kill, but here's Shyvana not going to be going for the kill, looking just to have the lane presence. And Face Rollers here as well. But with all those minions pushing up, with a Star Call being leveled up to level 4, there's not even a point in heal yet for Soraka.
Yeah, and that's pretty common with the AP Soraka. You want
Yep.
the damage, and that's from your Q and your silence.
Yep.
So as a result, you neglect the heal for a little bit until you get through those mid game fights. I mean, that is the nice thing with going mid is you get those levels so quickly that you can ignore points and ability and be fine. Shyvana is coming mid though, coming right into Ocelot, but there's the ultimate, the Dragon Form getting out of there, turning the back right at the last second. Yellowstar is able to just barely pick up the kill though, but here's Soraka coming, trying to pick up this kill into Yellowstar, the flash away, and actually the Valkyrie as well, just barely able to get out. Can the ult from Ezreal hit? It is going to miss, but Cassiopeia actually pretty close as well.
Oh, Ocelot was like about to limbo on under it. It's like, oh no, that's bad. Kevin trying to get away from the Flame Spitter top lane versus the Rumble. And, you know, granted, yeah, SK is getting what they want, but they're barely getting away alive. They're leaving a lot of these team fights extremely low.
Yeah, and the big thing is, I don't know, they're just able to pressure it. They have some really nice lanes.
Ooh.
Cassiopeia is able to get a little bit more easy burst. Same with Corki, than champions like Soraka are able to. It's just that upfront AoE damage. You know, we'll see how Black can kind of try and turn this around because they're being extremely aggressive. They're down 2k right now, but it doesn't feel like they're behind just because they're constantly pressuring SK. They just need to start turning some of these fights to their advantage.
And also, you know, Rumble, naturally he builds into the Revolver for that spell vamp to take with him into lane. Actually, Soraka working for it as well, so looks like there may be a double Loda being built for Black, which would be that spell vamp working for both of those APs is going to be ridiculous heading into the mid game, heading into the late game. To have, you know, the middle of these team fights, plus all that magic pen is going to be huge. Right now, Rumble trying to get away from his pressure to Nunu and the Riven. They're going in on this. The exhaust going down on the Riven. Rumble ult to try and get that extra damage, but Naprin, will you be able to capitalize? Yes, you will. Dragon Form going down. Can't get the kill on Nunu. Rumble does go down, but Nunu will not be able to leave here. Ocelot is also in the neighborhood, but Face Roller is right there to dissuade him. Can you get the silence? Can you get what you want? There you go. There's the poison. There's the silence every time after that initial burst of poison. There's the silence. The ult coming in from Ocelot. There you go. There's the summoner heal and the wish, bringing Face Roller so high up in health. He may as well be full, and Ocelot has really nowhere to go.
Yeah, and so Ocelot will be going down as Shyvana's going to be able to chase him away. Really nice job. Oh, actually trying to juke out there, but they will be able to get him. One more attack. Come on. Oh, there it is. The E is able to grab it up. But Face Roller with a nice job baiting out the ultimate, and then the last second turn before entering the bush. Really smart play. And yeah, we'll see how they kind of build. Rumble actually going for that Rylai's, so we'll be transitioning to that kind of a tanky build. They both had, you know, defensive boots, you know, so that's definitely nice in those smaller kind of skirmishes. We'll see how they work. I mean, when Soraka, when we've seen her in the past, a lot of times you want to go for that Woda, but then you also go for really fast defense. And since the Woda nerfs, I really don't think that they're going to be finishing them for a while. It'll primarily just be the Revolver, but we'll see if Soraka, you know, decides to go with like an Abyssal Scepter. For, you know, some really great armor shredding, and then just to be naturally tanky.
As if she didn't have enough already. To add the Abyssal on top of that would just be ridiculous.
It would just sound about right.
And here's the thing, too. With all that reduction, I believe it's possible to actually give a negative magic resist if it gets low enough.
It is, but it's really just such an unusual thing. It is very possible to give it, like, for example, here, 30 magic resist for Cassiopeia, but I think Soraka's Q can only remove like about 30.
Hover over it for a second, because let's see, magic by 12 for 5 seconds.
So 60.
By
10 times, 120.
120 magic resist if you manage to get 10 star calls off in a fight.
That's a lot of star calls, though. But, I mean, those early game fights, yeah, it will be very possible for them. And so that's also kind of why they don't have to go to these spell pen boots. They can go these defensive boots because they already know they have a lot of magic resist shredding.
You know, I look at this build. I look at Soraka in the mid. I love it. I love it so much. I remember back to IPL 4 because there's a very large portion of the crowd when Dignitas was playing mid-rock. And just this entire game so far in my head is just a chant. You know, you had these like group of like 10 guys just kept going, AP Raka, woo, woo, woo. And this is echoing in my brain right now. And it's so amusing to me.
I was just imagining when you were doing that. Never mind. I'm not going to go into what I was imagining. But Fnatic, or I'm sorry, SK, they're able to come and pressure this dragon. Rumble is up top. Right now with the AoE control that they have and everything, they have a much stronger fight, particularly without Rumble there, so they can take this pretty easily. Ezreal actually poking them down a little bit, but they'll have to watch out. Ocelot is kind of low on mana if they decide to go in for this, but they are able to grab that dragon. They're able to get out of there.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. With the dragon being taken, you're leaving Alvic alone top lane with Rumble, getting free farm, getting a lot of pressure down onto the tier 2 in top. So it's just going to be a rush for Kevin to get back up there to defend the lane, to hold the position. How did he actually get any good damage on the tier 2?
No, he didn't get there yet.
He didn't get there?
A little bit actually, but
a little bit.
Yeah, he was just barely there for a second.
Still free farm, though.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the case. I mean, he's at 100. Riven's still ahead there, but it's getting him into this game. Yellowstar being forced out from Ezreal, so they can deny a lot of this golden experience at this turret, and then push it down some. And I think early turrets would definitely benefit them if they decide to go for them. We'll see if they try and push any down, snowball the lanes. In the meantime, though, Nunu making his way down bot once again.
Oh, and Sona's been caught out a lot very early on in this game, and it's just a positioning problem here going on with.
I think Nunu was being chased though. He was
just
running away. He wasn't trying to gank.
He was running. He's just trying to get away from the Soraka.
He was running in terror from Soraka.
No, don't star call me. Don't do it.
Yeah, so we'll see. Soraka is farming, pretty successfully in the mid lane.
Yes.
Ocelot has a little bit of an advantage there, but this is one of the nice things that Scar always liked doing is just using that Q over the wall. You use the Q, you don't have the vision, but actually Corki and Nif are very close to going down. The Morgana or the Janna ultimate, unfortunately, is going to put them in a dangerous position. They were probably going to go down anyway, but Nif will be taken here. So a couple of kills for them. Nunu and Riven, everyone is here though. Riven jumping in the middle of the team. The Cassiopeia ultimate, they have plenty of damage. They're turning this around. Kevin trying to chase them down. There's the kill into Shyvana. Sona's very low, but able to keep out of there. Nunu does go down, but there's still Cassiopeia and there's still Riven. Riven is looking perfectly fine. Sona goes down. There's the Soraka, the double kill. They're able to pick up that fight.
Even all things considered, though, it is still a 3-for-3, and it's still a pretty relatively even trade there, but you do have Alvic once again still on the top lane looking to get that pressure down.
He
but
can actually take this turret if it depends. I think Corki's going to be there long enough.
coming on up though, but things though there's you have more people from SK displaced to deal with that fight as opposed to Black, and because of that you do have that allows Rumble to go ahead and have some time to himself.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. We'll see how these fights can continue to go though, but because the AoE for SK is fine, and Corki wasn't even in that fight. Kevin able to take down this mid turret, is getting very low though. We'll have to back off. Ezreal's there. The Rumble ultimate actually trying to chase them down. Kevin's able to get out. Janna's able to get out, so they're going to be fine. But the AoE, if Corki doesn't die before the fight even happens, you have to factor in the Corki AoE as well, and then all of a sudden that fight turns into a huge win for SK if Corki was alive.
You see the Negatron cloak being built on the Soraka right now, so yeah, it does look like an Abyssal is going to be coming out. So for some of the champs right now onto SK, 1 star call will put you, as soon as that's built, 1 or 2 star calls will put you at negative magic resist.
Yeah, that's true. It's actually, I'm surprised that it's that quick.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Riven chasing down Ezreal. He's going to be fine getting out of there. But Riven has a lot of damage. Is going for that really just burst build, and one of the issues with Soraka is that she's not a burst caster. She doesn't, just instantly kill your entire team. As a result, Kevin can be a little bit more comfortable going with that glass cannon build, knowing that he can kill, Soraka or Rumble in their AoE before they're able to get enough damage onto him.
It's just a matter of, actually, making sure you get in. And also, remember, Soraka does still have the silence for a critical member of SK. Kevin may very well be the one, because with that silence on, you're only auto attacks, and a lot of Riven's damage comes from the passive after priming. There you go, going right for the initiation down on to Rumble. The heals are not enough. Sona ult keeping everyone from SK still. Ocelot going to take a few shots from the turret that is just about to be going down. Ezreal is not in the fight just yet, where he should be here, but the turret will be down. Ult going through downtown, trying to reduce the health on all of the minions, just so pushing back is going to be a little bit easier. But yeah, SK just pretty much took that kill on turret for free.
Yeah, and Ocelot still has his ultimate up, so they were able to kill him without almost any effort on their part, just because Rumble's squishy. They don't have have the CC to get them out of there. They're a very low CC team. They just need to, be too tanky and in control of the fights. But Sona's movement speed isn't enough to account for the red buff and everything. They will be able to take down this turret, though, so they get it. They get out of there. They have, some nice turret advantages. Ocelot going to be chasing Shyvana a little bit. Shyvana will back off, so they will be fine.
Alvic is now back up. Now he's choosing to farm down bot lane because Yellowstar's been down there looking to try and get a little bit of a push on. But Ocelot now just trying to duel down with Naprin. He's in a 1v3 situation. Fat Mama's nearby, but Face Roller goes around the long way to see if he can't make something else happen there. But Kevin is looking for an engage, looking for something. He's like, yeah, get out of here. Get out of my forest. And Ocelot will go ahead and secure this board.
Yeah, and Rumble's still farming. He goes down to the bottom lane to get a counter push going, which is good. But considering how long he's been split from his team and how many opportunities he's found to farm, being only at 140 CS, that's a solid amount, but it's not astounding or anything. He's not pulling ahead in this game as a result of it. We'll see. He is kind of caught off here. He's in a dangerous position. He is able to get back in the mid. So getting through that little bottleneck, was able to get through there. And now they're actually coming over to steal his blue. So Yellowstar is going to get a blue of his own. He's going to have that spam ability as well.
But thing is, though, Rumble is also a very critical part of what makes Black's team fights great, because he needs to be there to capitalize on all the magic resist shred coming in on Soraka. Other than that, you only have 2 of your 3 huge magic dealers to go ahead and take advantage of that kind of situation. Rumble just does so much damage even without that magic shred. But here you go. Looks like there may be a trade here. SK grabbing Dragon, and Black looking to pressure down the tier 2 in mid. Movement speed coming from Soraka. There's a ward going down from Rumble to get the vision on SK. And can they take this turret down quick before they get pinched? There's a Rumble. Now they're turning back around down onto SK. Kevin out in front, melting to Shyvana pretty quick. There's a Sona ult in response. Riven goes down really quick but does not fall. Nunu ult getting a lot on that one, and Black is extremely weak after that. Very well done, and Ocelot looking to finish off Face Roller if he can. There you go, to Twin Fang, the shutdown coming in from Ezreal down to Riven, but no, it will be for not 1 for 5. Good job from SK.
Yeah, and SK, they have just such great damage output. They're able to almost instantly kill Shyvana. Soraka still needs a couple of levels before she can get into those heals. Only 1 level in the heal, and then 2 in the ultimate. But even so, one of the issues with going with a slow sustained damage team like with Soraka, not having that burst damage where you just instantly kill someone, is that SK, they have a really easy time in fights of getting low and just constantly cycling out their members. And so everyone on SK was getting very low in that fight, but they're constantly just able to cycle them around. None of them are dying, so they're perfectly fine, and then they have the damage to follow up on it. So I don't know, we'll see how if Black can kind of come back into this. They are down over 7k gold right now. They have really nice AoE. I don't think that Shyvana needed to initiate that, and that was the big thing. Yeah. Shyvana was trying to force a fight, but if they're a little bit closer together and can combo their damage, where they say, all right, Shyvana goes in, then Sona, Soraka gets some procs of the Q, and then Rumble ult, that's great. But there was a kind of a discoordination between some of their abilities. They weren't able to make it happen that way. Yeah. So we'll see how it works in the future. But the later it gets, the stronger the Soraka will be, the stronger their comp will be. But at the same time, SK is going to be stronger as well. Corki and Cass and Riven are all very strong late game.
Yep. And even then, you have the great initiation coming from Sony. You have great initiation from Rumble. Use one of those first. Just try and start up these fights. Try and get the aggression going down. But you do have Black here playing on the defensive, and they may try and rush this Baron here. Everyone's in the pit. There is a ward there, so right now SK knows that they're doing it. There goes the Rumble ult, trying to force that fight. Ezreal ult going down, and Nif being focused down really quick. There you go. There's a Shyvana Dragon form trying to pick up on that kill, and SK was a little split, but here comes Kevin focusing down in. Who's the target going to be? It's going to be Face Roller, first one to go down. So there goes that magic shred. There goes the heal. There goes a lot of Black's team fight control, but Alvic is out on his own. A lot of SK is low, though. Can they clean up? This could be a good opportunity. Deke is out there trying to get some shots going, but Naprin has to retreat really far away. One shot could have meant death for that Shyvana.
Yeah, and everyone on SK, again, was getting low, but they have a very easy time kiting in and out of the fight. Yeah. So Riven almost going down, was able to back off. Nunu almost going down, he's able to back off. And Black almost forcing a nice fight there. They went for the Baron without an Oracles, so they knew that SK probably had a ward, and they had no means of taking it down, but Riven was bottom. So they wanted to force a fight. They know they're behind. They wanted to try and force a fight without Riven. Unfortunately, unfortunately, they couldn't kill them quite quickly enough. They didn't have enough burst or anything. So as a result, SK could just stall until Riven came back and then all of a sudden take it to him.
Yeah, and Yellow Star getting a quick kill down onto Ezreal there in the bot lane. Did he just get caught out there? I think it's just a little bit of quick burst. Yeah, everyone's recalling. Well, Yellow Star's not quite in the bush yet.
They're recalling in the bush, and then he just walks right into him.
Yeah, unfortunate from Deke. Valkyrie over Yellow Star. Just go ahead and all the damage necessary to clean that one up.
Yeah, so they will be fine. They will be able to back off. Shyvana pushing down bottom a little bit. That is, the nice benefit of having, Shyvana. She's so fast, you can split push very easily with her, and having that split push potential, it allows you to stall out a little bit. So, as a result, you see Kevin has to go top to counter push that, and they all have to kind of split up and get all the lanes pushing, and it prevents them from pushing, just pushing straight into mid. So we'll see where they go. They do have a very strong Baron team. So SK, they could force a Baron fight, then force Black into this tight little corridor, force all of that AoE damage right on top of them, but they don't want to get low coming into the fight, because then Black can maybe force those longer fights and just barely have enough damage to pick them up. So we'll see if they decide to force it or not. Nif does have an Oracles, the nice little Sona Q to just throw off some harass and force them out of there. It stalls a little bit, so that's a nice thing.
Yeah, if you have the vision on Baron, if you can somehow irritate the Baron, anyone who's currently in that pit is going to be taking the auto attack damage. He doesn't care who attacked him. He cares about who's closest to him. So in this case, it is Janna with the Oracles. 2 Baron shots and already at 2/3 health. So it's a little bit of a plus for Black, though. But they could still be in a whole lot of trouble. Fat Mama a little bit too far out, and the rest of the team, all of Black, is split up. Soraka's taking the blue. This is an imminent Baron fight, and there goes Shirley's being popped. Fat Mama's caught all on her own. There you go, flash away. Has to use the ult to try and get away. Rumble ult in defense. All these ults being used defensively, and Fat Mama still goes down, and this is Baron for SK. Easy.
Yeah, so not only do they have an easy Baron, but for a while, Black can't fight them. So they're going to be able to pressure them out. They could try and poke them down a little bit, or maybe try and pressure mid lane. It seems like they're going to try and poke them here, but the Baron will drop very quickly with all their damage. Already down to 2,000 HP. They might try and steal it with the Ezreal, actually, and Shyvana. They got it, and Shyvana was able to keep it. They have plenty of AoE damage here, but Soraka does go down. Shyvana now is in the middle of the team, so they lose another 2 members. But even so, stealing that Baron, it helps stall for a little bit.
Yeah.
And so it was a nice play. It's a desperate thing, but they know if SK had the Baron with how far ahead they are, then the game is almost just over for them.
Yeah. So provided nobody from Black gets caught out, Nunu is off on his own. But Israel's just kind of like, coming by. He's like, oh, hey, you're here. I'm not going to kill you. I just want to know where you are. It's
I'm kind of surprised. I'm surprised he didn't go for it, because they had
Rumble.
They saw 2 members were top.
Rumble's on his own over by his red buff, but gets caught out by Yellow Star and by Kevin. Everyone's getting caught out. Black is in just disarray at the moment. They're so spread out. Kevin get there to capitalize on that kill as well. I don't know, I'm not seeing Black winning this. If everyone's so spread out, everyone's just kind of not on the same page here.
Yeah, they're 11k down. Even with that Baron, it's really inconsequential, and the team fighting potential for SK is very strong. They are going to be able to grab this dragon, so they get another dragon here to continue their lead, and we'll see. Soraka, again, can't push off waves very easily, so once SK decides that they want to just start pressuring mid-turret and start trying to take the turrets, Soraka has a really difficult time with clearing. Ezreal will be able to clear once with the ultimate, but then it'll be down for a while, and then the next wave, they should be able to just walk in, get a significant amount of damage on the turret, and in like about 2 waves, take it down.
Yeah, and then Soraka, trying to progress the build along a little bit, does not go for the Abyssal. Ended up upgrading to the Woda a little bit earlier on, and go for the Glacial Shroud. Good thought for the mana and the cooldown reduction. But I'm just trying to think though. Where's all the damage coming in from Black? And you have Shyvana building incredibly tanky. Rumble, and he's got his Riley, he's got his Wooded. That's good. That's fine. That's great damage from him. And he got Ezreal with the Trinity. But here's the thing though, you're getting caught out.
That's what happens when you get attacked by an 11, 1, and 9 Corki.
That is also true. Yeah, Corki is just so much further ahead.
Oh, they're going to sandwich them though. Irinii trying to force it around the backside, and Ocelot with the follow-up. Oh, Sona's here. The Rumble ult trying to get him out of there. But there is Cassiopeia walking in, has the AoE damage.
Nice.
They are actually kiting this out pretty nicely. So Ocelot is going to go down. The burst from Ezreal. And this is actually what Black wants to happen. This is what they need to happen. They need to burst down some of the carries and then force them out of there so they can chase them down.
There you go. You got Shyvana still out in front with the burnout, still in dragon form, trying to force down some more damage. And you have Rumble. He is overheating. He could do a little bit extra movement speed buff coming in from Sona. Shiroi is being popped there from SK. They want to get out of there. And yeah, this is a nice small victory for Black. They got, there's only one death. It was on Ocelot. They should get what they want. But here's the thing, though. Shyvana being caught out a little bit too far behind. And there you go. This fight is back at neutral.
What were we saying about that one death?
Yeah.
They do have some spamability. Ezreal could actually chase down Yellowstar here. He has the slow. Yellowstar just barely able to get out of there, even with that Phage proc. And so hopefully Ezreal won't be pursuing into that that tri-bush.
That could be huge. That could be disastrous. Yellowstar does get chunked out pretty huge. But SK, they roll back out. They managed to go ahead and make that fight even with the kill on a Shyvana. And it's still a bad situation right now for Black, but that was a really good team fight for them. If they can go ahead and replicate that once more, but just get a little bit more off that, if they can manage to get 1 or 2 more kills, they can still delay the game for quite a while. They can delay the game until the Baron comes back up in a little while.
Well, the nice thing with that last fight was that Cassiopeia was trying to get the hard engage. They wanted to force the fight, but with Rumble and Sona, they have really nice kiting potential. So Rumble's ultimate just completely shut down the rest of SK. They couldn't get in range fast enough, and as a result, they were able to just all gang up on Ocelot and take him down. He was out of position. They were able to get that kill. So we'll see if they can continue doing stuff like that. They still haven't. SK hasn't struck the killing blow yet. Right now, Black is still 100% in this game. No inhibitors are down, so they don't have to worry about like a slow push from SK. And if they can start turning around fights like that, that'll definitely work. But if SK is all grouped up together in the AoE, their fights are so strong.
This is real bad. Shyvana being caught out at the red, and it has to dragon form just to get away and forced out of your own jungle.
Yeah, and the big thing is I don't think they're going to catch Ocelot out of position again from the rest of his team. He's going to be able to sit back. Yellowstar has just so much damage, and if they can't stop Yellowstar, if they can't get in his face, then he's just going to wreck them, and they don't have a way to get in his face. It's really just the Rumble ultimate. Soraka is Soraka just going to run at Corki? No. Shyvana could ult, but that ult's down now, so we'll see. They are able to push down this. The Rumble ult trying to clear the wave, but they will have to back out of the Sona ult, though. They're trying to pick up Nunu, but SK doing a nice job getting out of here.
And Phage Rollers trying to be out in front, trying to get those star calls, trying to get everything they need, but SK, they're doing a pretty good job, and just waiting for Black to go ahead and split. Kevin does turn back around. Shiroi is being popped once again. Alvik not quite sure where he wants to go. Everyone's running back and forth, kind of confused at the moment, but Black, they are stopped. They're stone cold in their tracks by the Cassiopeia ult, and now it's a cleanup for SK. Granted, Rumble is still Rumble does go down, and you got Shyvana being exhausted, trying to go the long way back. Sona is safe and fine, but that's the thing, though. That was 4 for free. SK took complete. They drew them right into a trap. It's like, hey, come on away from your tower. Come on over and visit us here in the middle of the lane where you have no protection whatsoever from any of your structures, and then turn around.
You see how difficult fights are for Black in this game because they have to sit there. They're constantly kiting in and out. They're chasing after SK, and then when a member of SK turns around, they're like, oh, let's get a little bit of damage and then run away again. They have to constantly use this kind of kiting team. But then if SK's ever able to force a hard engage, they can just destroy them. And the second they were slightly out of position and Cassiopeia was able to get that ultimate on the team, they were able to turn around. They had the damage output were just massive AoE damage. And then again, Soraka and Rumble, they're very squishy.
Yes, they are.
And they just go down very quickly in these fights. So unfortunately, Black isn't able to get the Soraka comp working. I say unfortunately because I would have liked to see the Soraka comp. But to be perfectly fair, it was a really strong game from SK. And they started right from the beginning. They had the strength from the team comp right off the bat. And it was a little bit more standard, had great AoE. Yellowstar looking right at home in that bottom lane.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely in control of that game. Cassiopeia as well. Ocelot did a nice job. Kevin, did a nice job. And I don't know. We'll see if this is the beginning of a new age for SK.
I'd like to think so. I'd really like to think so because Kevin was a monster, just getting right up in front of everybody's face. But then again, also, sometimes a lot of team comps just fall apart. Most team comps just fall apart if the enemy AD just gets so ridiculously fed. That's the last thing you ever want to do in a game. Is just, you get the AD carries just so stupidly fed.
Yeah.
But we will see how game number 2 goes. This is the IPL Elites on the EU side. SK versus Black. Winner moves on to top 8 for the Elites. The loser moves down to the Challengers bracket. So we are going to go to a quick commercial, and we will be right back. See you in a second.